Hello, I'm Jeff Damont, the artist and game designer for the Janken Deck. This is a special video just for toy stores about how to sell the Janken Deck. If you need to learn more about the Janken Deck, be sure to visit jankendeck.com and watch the introduction videos. I sell my games at local art festivals and markets. This video is about the different sales pitches and demonstrations I use to help you introduce the Janken Deck to the people who will enjoy it the most. I'm going to cover who is it made for, how to describe what it is, how to demonstrate the basic rules, how to describe the games and art, and a simple game demonstration. I made the Janken Deck for anyone who likes to play classic card games, stuff like spades and hearts, rummy games, or solitaire. Also games like Uno and 5 Crowns. There are games for kids as young as 5 or 6, and more challenging strategy games for adults. It's also for people who like the new and unusual. These are the people in the geek culture who learned about rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock on Big Bang Theory, or math nerds like me who like all the math behind games. And it's for creative people who like to make up their own rules. One of the most fun things you can do is to invent your own games to play with friends. First, here's my elevator pitch that answers the question, what is this? It's a deck of cards, but instead of the normal suits, you get rock, paper, scissors, water, and lizard. That means now you can play games with 5 suits instead of 4, and when you use the rock, paper, scissors rules, there is no high suit. So it changes playing strategies and makes a lot of new games possible. Basically, I try to communicate the bullet points on the front of the box. It has 5 suits, the suits follow rock, paper, scissors logic, and it's not just one game, but a platform for many games. If they're still interested, I go on to the basic rules. As soon as I started the project, I knew the biggest challenge was going to be communicating how rock, paper, scissors could be played with 5 weapons and what that means for card games. So I put as much as I could into the design. The diagram and rule card explained the basics by graphics and text. I also showed the rules on the card backs and around the border of the box. I used the website and videos as tools to teach as well. Maybe there will be a day in the future when it is all common knowledge, but in the meantime, people will need it explained before they buy. You may have seen Sheldon on Big Bang Theory explain rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock all in one breath, and it sounds pretty complex and confusing. I try to keep it slow so they can process each relationship one at a time. It helps to have a visual aid so you can show the different suits as you go. If you have a demo deck available, just pull out one card in each suit. You can also use the diagram card or just point out the pips on the top of the display box. Here's how I break it down. I start with what they know, rock, paper, and scissors, then I do the water rules, and then I finish with lizard. I point to each suit as I go to help them connect the color and shape of each suit with its name. So you know that paper covers rock, and rock blunts scissors. Now water rusts scissors, and water erodes rock, but paper absorbs water, and lizard drinks water. Rock crushes lizard, lizard eats paper, and so forth. I tend to skip over what scissors does to lizard because that can sound a little violent for a card game. Then I pass them the rule card and the diagram card for a closer look. There are 2 extra cards that explain how it works. Once you learn the basic rules, they are the same for all the games. Basically, for any suit, there are 2 suits that are stronger and 2 suits that are weaker, so it's all very balanced. If they express that it might be too hard to learn, I say, if you can remember the rules for rock, paper, scissors, you can remember these. Or if they wonder if it's too complicated for kids, I say, if kids can remember the rules for all the Pokemon types, this will be easy. When there is a family with kids or a group of young adults, I'll ask if they want to try an easy game. Basically, you let 2 players pick a card, and the one with a stronger suit wins. It's a great way to decide who gets the last slice of pizza or who has to do the dishes. Fan out the cards and say, you pick a card, and you pick a card. Turn them over. Water erodes rock, so she wins. Of course, what you say at the end depends on what they actually pick. If they get the same suit, normally the highest rank would win, but for the demo, I call it a tie and do it over. If there is more than 2 kids in the family, I try to make sure everyone gets a chance to play. Later in the video, I'll show you a version of the demo where you can make them win against you every time. Just about everybody I talk to likes what I've created, but of the people who actually decide to buy, I can put them into 3 general categories. Some buy for the novelty. It's creative and unusual, so they buy it as a gift for a friend or their kids. Some buy to play the games. They have a game night with friends, so this would be fun to try. And some buy for the art. Maybe they don't play games much, but they appreciate the attention to detail. So I try to touch on these 3 topics when I talk to people, but I might focus more on different details depending on what the person responds to. Of course, the main reason I made the deck was for the games. I love to discover new strategies, and this deck offers so many new games to explore. Instead of printing up rulebooks, I made the choice to put all the game rules on the website. This way I can keep updating the list in the future. The rules are in PDF files so they can be downloaded and printed anytime. I will also be making more how-to-play videos over time. I have about 50 different games available so far. Some are based on familiar games, and some are completely original. Some have simple rule sets, and some are more complex. The website divides them into categories based on age and number of players. Here's what I tell people. There are solitaire games, kids games, strategy games, rummy games, basically something for everyone. All of the rules are on the website, so you don't have to buy an extra rule book. There's also some how-to-play videos for people who don't like to read the rules. You can try playing your favorite games with 5 suits instead of 4. It's just going to make the odds a bit different. And if you like to make up your own games, there's a place on the website where you can submit your own games to share. The website can be found on the box, the rule cards, and the Ace of Rock. To help them remember, I explained the name Janken is the Japanese name for the game rock, paper, scissors. When I sell, I show off the different face cards to give them something to focus on while I do the pitch. I tried to duplicate the look and feel of a standard deck, so at first glance, the only thing different is the colors. The face cards are all real kings and queens from history. There's even a joker in every suit. The jokers can reverse the rock, paper, scissors rules in the middle of a game. The jokers represent different trickster gods from different cultures. The gallery on the website can tell you who's who. I divided the suits by region. The Middle East and India for rock, Africa for paper, North and South America for scissors, Pacific Islands for water, and Asia for lizard. If you want to look up any individuals, they are all listed on the gallery page of jankendeck.com. Sometimes people ask where are the European kings and queens, so I politely tell them they can all be found in a standard deck. Since all of the face cards are real people, I like to imagine that homeschool parents could use them as an opportunity to discuss geography and the history of different cultures. To the best of my ability, I chose weapons appropriate to the time and place where they ruled, and the patterns and motifs are from each culture represented. Here's a demonstration I do to force someone to win every time. This is basically high card, where it's you against them. The theory is, winning makes you feel happy, and happy people buy more. To set it up, remove the jokers and sort out all of the cards by suit. From left to right, make piles of rock, paper, scissors, water, and lizard. Then you literally stack the deck. Start with 1 lizard card face up, put 1 water on top of it, then scissors, paper, and rock. Start with lizard again and repeat the process until all of the cards are in the stack. Basically, you are always putting a weaker suit onto a stronger suit. Spread out the cards in your hands and ask them to pick any card. Here's the important move. As they pick, separate the deck at the place where they pick their card and put the top half of the deck on the bottom. The card on top of the stack is the one that was right below theirs, so it will always be a weaker suit than the one they chose. Show them your card, and then use the back of your card to show the diagram. What you say depends on the card you have, but here's an example. I have the 7 of water. The back of the card shows that water erodes rock and rusts scissors, so if you have rock or scissors, I win. But paper absorbs water and lizard drinks water, so if you have paper or lizard, you win. What did you get? You got lizard, so you win. If you play multiple games and want to force them to lose, just take your card from the bottom of the deck for a stronger suit. Of course, it's up to you to decide what pitch is best for you and your customers. One of the best tips I got for selling is to have your own personal stories to tell. Try some games on your own, and then you can talk about your own experiences. And finally, here's some random facts and trivia if you just want to make small talk. Each face card uses black, white, and 3 colors. The color of the suit, and the colors of the 2 suits it will beat. For example, paper covers rock and absorbs water, so the paper face cards feature yellow, orange, and blue. Jokers reverse the rules, so the joker of paper has yellow, purple, and green. Playing cards and rock, paper, scissors both have their origins in China hundreds of years ago. The queens are showing you how to play rock, paper, scissors, water, lizard without cards. Just look at their hands. To my knowledge, the Janken Deck is the only complete deck of cards with 5 suits in production today. 5 Crowns uses 5 suits, but doesn't have all 13 ranks. In the Janken Deck, there is no red or black suit. The cards are poker-sized, so you can combine it with a standard deck to play with 9 suits at once. The Ace of Rock is the only playing card that has the colors of all 5 suits on it. Rock, Paper, Scissors, Lizard, Spock was invented by Sam Cass and Karen Bryla. It gained popularity when it was played on the show Big Bang Theory. Spock was changed to water for legal reasons. The Jokers hold a hint about which suits they can defeat using the Joker rules. If you have 5 people in your group, now you can play hearts or spades, and no one has to sit out. Just deal 13 cards to each player and follow the normal rules. Pick any suit to represent hearts or spades. The Joker of Rock is the only Joker who was a real person. Nasruddin was a popular storyteller from the Middle East. If you play poker, the rock, paper, scissors rules don't apply to avoid a 3-way tie. The high suit is rock, followed by paper, scissors, water, and lizard is the lowest suit. In poker, you can get a 5 of a kind without wild cards. The odds of getting a 5 of a kind are still lower than getting a royal flush. Normally the ace of spades is the fanciest ace. Since this deck has no high suit, all of the aces get a big fancy pip. When shuffled, there are over 1 Google of possible combinations of all 70 cards. That means a 1 followed by 100 zeros. That's more than the number of atoms in the universe multiplied by the number of seconds since the Big Bang. If they don't buy today, encourage them to visit the website to learn more. Hopefully they will find a game or video to convince them to come back soon. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find this helpful.